When you sit down and think of the biggest moments and the biggest pops, it's usually associated with the noise right from the bleachers to the ringside. Look back on Y2J debuting on Raw, Edge returning at the Royal Rumble, The Rock returning in 2011, Linda McMahon standing up at WrestleMania 17, and Stone Cold pretty much entering any arena during the Attitude Era. The crowd always made those moments better, and you can only think when crowds are allowed back in eventually, the roof might just come off. Many times there have been complete silence, shock and confusion, and these can be just as impactful as noise. That's why they say silence can be deafening. One moment I look back on is Shawn Michaels returning in 2002 versus Triple H at SummerSlam. He comes back, a big triumphant return, wins the match, and then gets a sledgehammer in the back for all of it. I just look on that moment because it made me completely silent and shocked. And let me know your moments in wrestling history that spring to your mind that made you feel like that. My name's Nathan from What Culture Wrestling, and these are 10 huge wrestling moments that played out to silence. Number 10, Mick Foley's Super Bowl Sunday. This match would fit right in with the 2020 wrestling landscape. Dubbed Halftime Heat and played during Super Bowl, WWE champion The Rock defended against Mick Foley in an empty arena. Foley won with the help of a forklift to become a two-time champion. Who knew Foley held a forklift license? Back in 1999, the fans were really important to the WWE. It was in the middle of the ratings war with WCW, and the Attitude Era was something we had never ever seen before. So to pull this off with no fans says a lot about The Rock and Mick Foley. If you've not seen this match and you've got some free time, then watch this match. Honestly, you will not be disappointed. It's brilliant. And you'll see a bit later on in this list that empty arenas have been around a lot longer than you might think. Number 9. Otis gets the girl. We've seen this storyline play out before, but is there anyone who wasn't getting behind Otis? Sonya Deville and Dolph Ziggler have been scheming behind Mandy's back with the help from the mysterious general manager. Mysterious hacker who once upon a time wanted to expose the truths of SmackDown. Of course, at WrestleMania 36, we got to see Otis and Mandy's WrestleMania moment, which under normal circumstances would be greeted by a huge pop. Instead, silence. And the performance sent a fan spinning, but of course, that was out of everyone's control. Don't worry, Otis, mate. I had a toast for your WrestleMania moment at home. Just got to cash in that money in the bank now, bro. Number 8, Lillian Garcia. Lillian Garcia sang the US national anthem on September the 13th, 2001, and powerful, quite literally, is an understatement. Just 2 days after 9/11, Lillian began singing, and Houston's Compaq Center was silent in the most emotional, defiant, and united stand we had ever seen in the WWE. We've seen the national anthem and America the Beautiful sung many times, and this is one everyone remembers due to the terrible circumstances, but more so, the defiance to stand up together as a nation, and in this case, as a wrestling family. Number 7, the Shockmaster's WCW debut. Well, I can see why they called him the Shockmaster, because everyone was shocked after this. Fred Ottman turned up in WCW as the Shockmaster, and within minutes went down in history as one of the most famous debuts. Maybe not for all the right reasons. He had the big intro from the biggest babyface Sting, and after he fell, it was complete silence from a packed studio. Before we knew it, Ottman fell over and his Stormtrooper helmet rolled onto the floor, and to be fair, he's made fun of it himself, so I don't feel too bad doing it here. You have to applaud Sid Vicious, Davey Boy Smith, Ric Flair, Booker T and Sting, who kept a straight face, because I'm telling you, I would have dropped to the floor laughing and rolling everywhere. This one is definitely up there with Titus O'Neil. Number 6, the FUNKE'S Final Conflict promo. If you've not seen this promo, then please give it a watch. You will be seeing one of the best promos in wrestling history. It's one that doesn't really get spoken about a lot. That passion, headbutting the cage. You can really see why Mick Foley idolized him. In 1982, Funk beat Bruce Walkup in an empty arena steel cage match. After the match, Funk had his sights set on Dusty Rhodes and delivered a world-class promo, straight down the camera as if he was there in your living room. Now, not anyone can do this sort of thing, but for Terry Funk, it was just completely natural, and it made it feel like there was an arena full of people. Number 5, Drew's crowning moment. I really do feel for Drew McIntyre because there was no fans at WrestleMania 36. If there were, the roof would have blown off. Okay, I know there's no roof in the Raymond James Stadium, so the pirate ship would have set sail or something like that. Just look at the pop in the Royal Rumble when he eliminated Brock Lesnar, and then you look further down the line with Brock Lesnar selling the Claymore as a threat. I mean, that moment would have been massive at WrestleMania 36. Unfortunately, no one was there, but there was the Performance Center fan and silence. Personally, I don't think we have to worry about seeing Drew McIntyre doing the air guitar or anything like that ever again, because he's cementing himself as a main event guy and should be a main eventer for years to come. Number 4, Edge announces retirement. It's funny how it's all come full circle. Tears and sadness, and then 10 years later, happiness and big pops. No one saw this coming. April the 11th, 2011, Monday Night Raw, the night after WrestleMania. It was a farewell thank you to Edge. When he started talking, there was an inclination that something may be wrong. Everyone in the arena hung on to every word he was saying. And then there was sadness and shock. If I must just use the SummerSlam slogan, you never saw it coming. Edge was given a hero send-off, he was put into the Hall of Fame, and we thought we'd never see him wrestle again. But people of 2011, just hold on about 9 years or so, that will all change. Number 3, the death of Owen Hart. This is something that really touched the whole wrestling world deep, and to be honest, it's one of, if not the darkest day in my experience of watching wrestling. Owen fell to his death at Over the Edge live on pay-per-view in 1999 at the Kemper Arena. Even speaking about this now just makes me feel sad. Of course, the arena fell silent once they realised what had actually occurred in front of their eyes. JR had the unfortunate task to tell everyone watching at home of Owen Hart's death. Himself only learning of it seconds before. Through all the tragedy, I like to also remember the world-class wrestler that Owen was, and the inspiration he had on future generations of wrestlers. Number 2, the longest WWE title reign in history comes to an end. Labelled as the night the Garden went silent, the late great Bruno Sammartino ended his reign as a WWE champion. Originally, he beat the Nature Boy Buddy Rogers for the title in 1963. Bruno lasted as the champion for 7 years, 8 months and 1 day. Overall, that is 2,803 days as a champion, before losing in 1971. Now, will we ever see that type of reign today? Oh, no way. We've got more chance seeing a kangaroo driving down the road. On the 18th of January 1971, Bruno Sammartino lost to Ivan Koloff at Madison Square Garden, and it fell completely silent. Later that year, Sammartino won the WWF IC Tag Team titles with Dominic DeNucci, and he reclaimed the WWF World Heavyweight Championship from Stan Stasiak in 1973, keeping that one for 3 years, 4 months and 20 days. I know, lots of maths involved in this one, but the most impressive thing is these title reigns were really long. Number 1, end of the streak. 1, 2, 3. The streak is over. Silence. You could hear a pin drop. You could probably hear someone burp from the top of the New Orleans Mercedes-Benz Superdome. The Undertaker was 21-0 over 23 years, and I really thought it would last forever, and I think everyone else did as well. But Lesnar beat him after 3 F5s. Even as the referee counted 2, I thought a kick out was gonna happen, as we've seen before many times at WrestleMania with The Undertaker and Shawn Michaels a few years prior. Lots of false finishes. But as the bell rang and the camera showed the fans' reactions, you just knew that something was happening here. The Just Say Yes guy, the hands on people's heads, despair, shock. I remember jumping up and dropped my chicken dippers all over the floor. I was gutted. This is arguably the biggest moment in wrestling history due to the fact that no one saw it coming. There you have it, my friends. They were the 10 huge wrestling moments that played out to silence. Do you know what? You might have some different moments up your sleeve as well. Let me know what they are in the comments below. Also, make sure you like, subscribe and share this video. Follow What Culture on Twitter at WhatCultureWWE, and as you're on What Culture YouTube right now, check out some more great videos that we've got on this channel. I've been Nathan from What Culture Wrestling, and I'll see you next time.